Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and, hey, you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Well, I think we have you covered this week. But there's not just that. There's also, let's run down the list here. There's some DC, there is some Gargoyles, some turtles, some shark, some lizard. Marvel Legends, you like Spider-Man? And then, of course, G.I.Joe, because I think that was the big news of the week. Basically, a little bit of, okay, well, I was going to say a little bit of something for everyone, but that's not the case, is it? There's some Star Wars. But there's a whole heaping helping of turtles. First, though, after several weeks of glimpses and teases, almost like they were popping in and out of our reality, Kaiyodo has officially solicited their amazing Yamaguchi DC Flash and Reverse Flash. Now, say what you will, Revoltech is made for posing, if you want to get into those crazy top stances. Flip side, it can be ugly, and that's more apparent with skin-tight suits, and that's exactly what we're dealing with here. Don't get me wrong, they've gotten better over the years. Remember the first ones where it was like, well, is it? No, it's still together, but it looks like it's falling apart. You have to be strategic in the posing, especially if you're taking pictures. Little angle off and you're looking right through a joint. So it's not as bad as in the past, but you can definitely tell the style of an amazing Yamaguchi figure. To compensate for that a bit, Kaiyodo has thrown a whole hell of a lot of lightning bolts in here. It almost seems like their goal is to overwhelm your eyeballs. You look at it, and you can't quite tell what the hell's going on, but it's cool. Your brain's going, wow, that's an action figure. Some people like it, some people don't. That's why there's options out there. That's the beauty of having a lot of companies doing their own takes on beloved characters. Besides the lightning, Flash comes with an assortment of hands along with 4 optional face parts. Looking at that accessory picture, there are 4 face parts. And then when you get to the glamour shots, there's 4 face parts. And I looked at them and thought, man, I wish there was a neutral face that was looking straight ahead. And then I flipped to this picture, and this is exactly that. Then my brain went, hey, stupid. They said optional face parts. That means besides the main face part. So 5 in all. Sometimes you have to speak softly and slowly for it to sink in for me. Same for the Reverse Flash. The accessory shot shows left, forward, and whited out eyes and lists 3 optional faces, but then the Brady Bunch layout has the blacked out eyes with the red dots. To add a scavenger hunt aspect to the whole thing, Kaiyodo's own store is offering up additional bonus parts. For Flash, there's a Cyclone Punch, and then Reverse Flash comes with his lightning rod and an extra hand in order to hold it. Those parts are listed on Big Bad Toy Store's pre-order pages, but they're not shown in the pictures, so there's a gray area there. I'm not quite sure if that actually comes with these, but I've put the links to that in the description, along with the links to Kaiyodo's store, so on you. MSRP is $81 at today's current exchange rate. Remember that. And then they are set to release in October. NECA doubled the amount of human figures in their Gargoyles line this week by soliciting Xanatos. Sorry, I don't know Gargoyles. Xanatos and Eliza, bringing the total up to 2. I'm pretty sure. Or, my brain says they showed another human at some point, but I may have been Googling pictures and saw another human and thought, well, they have to get to that one eventually, right? They're doing this whole line and they're going pretty deep, but at the same time, I can't remember. As of this moment, I think there are only 2 humans in Gargoyles. When the line first started, I thought, hey, I never watched Gargoyles, but these are some kick-ass looking figures. Maybe this will be my gateway into becoming a fan of everything. And I picked up Goliath, and it was pretty cool. I like it. It's hanging on the wall right there. But then it's like, I like to look at them. I like to window shop. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. But I haven't been following the line. But that's okay. I can appreciate action figures that I don't actually buy. And I know some of y'all like it, so here we are, talking about it, just gargoyling it up. Have I said anything of substance pertaining to Xanatos and Eliza? Nope. Oh, they do come with relaxed wings for Gargoyles, though. Xanatos comes with Damonas, and then Eliza comes with Brooklyn's. It's definitely a marketing gimmick. I get it. It's a way to balance out the whole line. The gargoyles are bigger. They've got the big old spread wings. They've got extra points of articulation. Let's take the smaller characters and add in the relaxed wings there, the extra plastic. But it's a really nice thing to be able to stand your action figures closer than 5 scale feet from each other. So if I was in, I'd be tracking down all the cape wings that are just laying on the shoulders. But then the option's still there to have your gargoyles soaring over your toyscape, just looking down upon the other displays, ready to do battle. Or help out when appropriate. You know, good guys, bad guys. $37.99 each, dropping in July. Sticking with NECA, another week, another round of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Haulathon listings. From the cartoon side of things, there's a 2-pack of Mona Lisa and Dirk Savage, along with Rex 1. I don't know who any of these characters are, but I always crank my eyeball over towards the robotic police officer type characters. There's RoboCop, and there's that Power Rangers guy in the blue and white with the lights and stuff. That was pretty cool looking. And now there's this. I'm probably not going to get it because I have no emotional attachment to it, but I can look at the pictures and think, oh man, yeah, that's pretty sweet. If you're more into the dark and gritty, there is a variant of NECA's Last Ronin, this time in cherry flavor. That's my favorite medicine flavor, and candy flavor, but I don't like cherries. Is that weird? I'm guessing this is based on a cover or a page or a piece of art just bathed in red, which makes sense. NECA has done this before. In that aspect, it's pretty cool, but unnecessary. And I don't mean that as a dig towards the figure or anyone who wants it. In fact, that's my idea of a perfect exclusive. Something that's not needed, just neat if you want extras for your shelf. But that does explain why this is still available on Target's site while the other two are already sold out. If you want to check for yourself, links are down below. Keeping with the Turtles theme, a few days ago Super 7 teased their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Wave 10 with a rat holding a piece of pizza. Rat? Pizza? Pizza Rat. No. Rat King has been a top want for a lot of people for a long time, so it was good to see confirmation of that. And that's exactly what happened today, the TMNT Ultimates Rat King. Although it's not exactly what everyone was expecting. So far, the Ultimates line has been a modernization of the original Playmates toy line. Same feel, same design beats, just bigger and more collector-oriented. Looking at this, there is definitely a change in aesthetics. In fact, this Rat King is downright sexy. I'm just the messenger. I can only look at things and go, sexy. But that's not how the original figure was portrayed. Word on the dirty toy streets is that Playmates is somehow involved here, that they didn't like Super 7 taking their designs and, you know, doing their own thing with them. Is it true? I don't know. Again, I can only look at the pictures. It almost seems like it's the clothing of the original figure, but then they mixed in some Shredder's Revenge elements. Same goes for Ninja April. The original toy had more of a zebra print swimsuit that showed a lot of skin. This one has a yellow sleeveless gi, which when you think about it makes a lot more sense. Similar layout though, with one of each of the turtles' weapons, her camera, and then alternate heads. Looking at this and the design, it would have been nice to get just an April head here that you could swap back to the previous April O'Neil. Classic rocker Leo monkey wrenches that theory a bit though, because this is pretty much a direct translation of the vintage figure. But then completely different accessories with the double neck guitar that are actually his swords. Then to round out the wave, there is another Casey Jones. This time he's in Mirage inspired color scheme. But they sweeten the pot with some hockey pucks. That's exactly what I was looking for to buy another Casey Jones. No, I'm talking about the alternate head with the battle damage mask. Again, like April, it would have been cool to get a completely unmasked Casey of some kind, but this is getting closer. Will the next Casey have a full unmasked look? As someone who didn't get real deep with the Turtles back in the day, I find NECA and Super 7 kind of leaving me behind, but happy with what I have from the main cast offerings. I'm not invested in the original design here, so I can look at it and go, oh, well, yeah, that's a pretty cool Rat King. But I can see why some are frustrated, especially if you jumped into this line from the start simply for the 80s nostalgia tug. It's not a complete 180, but it is changing lanes. And if you wanted to stay in this lane, yeah, I guess we'll see where it goes from here. Here's something that just missed me by a few hours when I was recording the last weekly. Fury Toys finally put their Samurai Force Wave 2 Musket Man Autumn up for pre-order, and dang it, we haven't seen the rest of this team yet, but you can look at this and already tell that this is the best samurai warrior. Okay, I may be biased. I do like some good-looking purple accents. It's a smooth move to give him a musket, a bit of advanced weaponry within the era that they're shooting for. But to make things a bit more blatantly apparent, there's optional swappable parts to make him more teenaged and mutated ninja-like turtle with a thing for technology. If you have spring, you know this is going to be good. Wave 2 also consists of the Master. I see some people not digging the light gray of the fur, and I can see that. It takes a minute to get used to it, but you can't compare this to some character called, where is it? Splinter. This is just a rat that raises 4 humanoid turtles to be mighty warriors. I do not see the similarities. There's also a Wave 1 supplementary pack to spruce up all 3 figures so far. Spring and Autumn gets alternate heads and weapons, while Master gets those youngins to train in the ways of the samurai. Autumn is $47, Master is $50, the booster pack is $17, all scheduled for Q4 of 2023. Fury Toys seems to be cooking up some other goodies too. The creator posted a video turnaround of an anthropomorphic shark, which made me realize, ooh, I don't have enough sharks in the display. Like a lot of other Fury Toys offerings, this could be used as other characters in the display. Like, you know, over on your DC side, this could be King Shark. At least that was my initial thoughts. But remember, apparently I slept through the mid-90s and didn't see any of the cartoons there. So when people started talking about Street Sharks, I did some Googling, and yeah, I can see that. Sure, it doesn't have the big mouth and head and the proportions, but it's definitely got the pants, the boots, and the belt. But is the hat and tie another reference that I'm missing? It wouldn't be surprising though, right? In fact, y'all expect it at this point. Robo don't know what the hell he's talking about, and he's more than happy to admit it. Either way, like the rest of the Fury Toys offerings, it's a cool humanoid top animal that I will decide what to do with once there's more information. That's all I can do. Then, for no other reason other than I ran across it when I was looking at the Samurai Force Turtles, and we're working with a theme here. Here is the, oh, here we go. The Sanyon Cooperative Evil Lizards Climb the Sand TO001 3 Original Club Toys Desert Detective Evil Lizard Shasha. Now they're just messing with me. I know they are. I don't know if that's the right order for the words or if they're all applicable here. I just know that they were all on the pre-order page, so I just stuffed them all together. But now that I look at this, is this a desert detective or is this an evil lizard? I think we have some contradictory terms going on. Unless it's an evil desert lizard detective, that doesn't make sense. Is the desert evil or is the lizard evil? To me, it's an interesting looking figure. I can't speak for you, but I've gotten used to a certain build when I see figures crossing my eyeballs. So to see a shape like this, I'm like, oh, it subverts those expectations, I guess you could say. At first I thought the clothing was soft goods, especially with the shirt on and off pics, but the closer I looked, the more I realized, no, those are plastic or some kind of rubbery substance. Which is okay. It doesn't look to be the most mobile of toys, but it sure adds a lot of personality to them. And the more I look, the more I kind of go for the gruff but kind desert dweller, where you run across him in town and go, oh, that Shasha give you the shirt off his back, but he's going to be cussing you the whole time. Plus, there's a Dinosaurs TV vibe where he wouldn't look out of place walking into the Sinclair's home, dropping a few catchphrases, walking out, and them going, that Shasha. $67, due out later this year. Then there's the old, new, it feels like old now with the live stream being a couple weeks ago, but the new Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Legends wave. But because there's new pretty promotional pictures, we're going to talk about it for the 4th time this month. Ben Reilly Spider-Man. It wasn't until I was talking with Veebs during the Fwoosh cast that I realized, oh, the logo is off to the side a little bit, but I don't mind. I like a little asymmetry every now and then. And yes, the bubble head matches the artwork, but comparing there, I noticed that the blue on the back of the hands and the small V at the top of the boots are missing. I'm going to say it again. I love the colors and design of Chasm. Even though it is unmistakably Spidey universe, it's very color by number. If you knew nothing about Spider-Man other than Spider-Man himself, somebody holds up this on a flashcard, you go, that's in Spider-Man. Miles' new look is interesting and confusing, and different, and fun. It's Miles. Spider-Woman also gets the red and black costume treatment, and I know some people don't believe me, but I really like this, even more than her red and yellow costume, and that's considered iconic. Elektra Daredevil jumps out at me. It's something that I wanted to see in plastic form ever since I first seen pages from the comic, and here we are. It's all new sculpt. It looks great. To bring some classic flavor, there is the Rose, who has never been high on my want list. He hasn't really even been on my radar, so I fell down the well of nitpickiness, and now I can't unsee the smallish head and the big old shoes. Did you take your dad's shoes again? But then we swerve back into the red and black paint and plastics with Tarantula. Well, yeah, he has the blue up top. That seems to be a point of argument, but the more I look, the more it doesn't bother me. I also plan to slap some black paint up here, maybe some blue paint down here, just to highlight some things, spruce it up a bit. And that was it for the reveals, all fine and dandy. Very modern for the most part, but still major players. Miles, Riley, Elektra, Jessica Drew. They may not look like how you want them to look, but they're still big names within the universe of Spider-Man. Then the pre-orders hit, and they are retro-carded, which means no Build-A-Figure. We were never told it was a Build-A-Figure wave. We just all kind of assumed that. In fact, I think I said several times, if I am tempted by the Build-A-Figure, it won't break my heart to buy these modern figures. But then being retro-carded, the $24.99 price point is a bit harder to swallow. That's on top of them being very sparse in the accessory department. I've said it before, at this point, every Spider-Man should come with fists, wall crawling, and thwips, and then maybe some grips for some webs. The tooling is there. Just throw it in the package. But more than that, retro cards should absolutely, positively, definitely be cheaper than standard releases. The Build-A-Figure is to get us to buy whole waves, plus get a little extra for our buck. You take that away, there's less value on our end. At this point, I don't give a damn about the packaging. Stuff it in a paper bag, throw it at me from a moving van, charge me $19.99, and I'm a pig in shit. You know what I mean? But if you aren't into the modern or into the classic, you can pass them on by. You don't have to pick them up to finish a Build-A-Figure, or if you're buying just a couple, you're not stuck with extra big old arms and legs, depending on the size of the Build-A-Figure. You know, just like the X-Men retro wave that's hitting right now. This is just a Spider-Man retro wave. I'm sure there's another Build-A-Figure wave coming. Me, I'm grabbing Tarantula and probably Elektra, then I'm out. I like the designs of the rest of the figures, and if I find them cheaper later, maybe I'll pick them up. But at the moment, there's more X-Men coming. There's those classic Avengers they showed last week. I'll take my money and put it where I really, really want it. Like I said, $24.99 a piece, scheduled for August. High note, the talk of Fwoosh Town this week was the G.I. Joe fan stream, featuring all kinds of classified goodness. To kick things off, they announced 3 more name-only reveals, which I'll forget by the end of this segment because I've already looked down 4 times in order to remember what the hell I'm talking about. No renders, no recollection. But we can look forward to Quick Kick, Big Boa, and Mutt and Junkyard at some point in the future. Next up was digital reveals. Our first look at renders of characters who were previously name-only reveals. That's how it goes. They give you the name, then later they give you the render, and then eventually pre-orders come out with the pretty promotional pictures. Tunnel Rat looks awesome with the double lightsabers. Sorry. Oh man, I miss Star Wars, but I'm liking G.I. Joe. Double flashlights that mount up in the backpack to shine over his shoulders, and then the night vision goggles because he's in tunnels, you know? If a mission goes into the tunnels, you call Tunnel Rat. If you want explosives, you call Firefly, and here is a more classic-inspired version of that. Now, I don't have a problem with the modern version that I have on the shelf now, but come on, that RC car instead of the drone, they're both fun. They're fun. Drone, RC car, whatever gets the bombs from him to somewhere else. I don't know Shadow Tracker, but I'll admit, it is a neat design. And when it comes to G.I. Joe and my limited knowledge, I rely a lot on neat design. Kind of scary, kind of intimidating, has Predator vibes, which makes it even more tempting for me. I can put it in, and he's just stalking prey. And yes, I switched the order up a little bit. As happy as the others make me, Lowlight is my most wanted. But Robo, you weren't hot and heavy into G.I. Joe as a kid or any time afterwards. How the hell is Lowlight your most wanted? It's simple. Back 10 some odd years ago, when I was stalking the Toys R Us aisles for what I was collecting at the time, I'd always run across that low light with that single bullet. I'd always pull it off the pegs and look at it and get this close to buying a 3 3/4 inch figure for the first time in 10 years before that. Once Spider-Man Classics hit in 2002, I jumped to 6-inch, left everything else behind. Tempted by one character that I knew nothing about from a line that I had rarely collected in the past, simply for one accessory. Oh, the rest of the accessories looked cool, and the figure looked cool too, but I don't know what it was. One round. But I held strong, and now my patience is paying off. Now, I understand this does not come with that one bullet, but just the thought of that, after all these years, yeah, I need low light. Now, where was I? Oh, after that was stuff that you could actually pre-order. And throwing the $24.99 price out again, this time around, oh, look at all the accessories. Now, Copperhead doesn't come with a ton, but there's still 4, plus a unique look. For Bazooka, we already have the Cobra Island version, so we know the deal here, but you get the red jersey, the plainer pants, and then some neat extra paint effects on the rockets. Speaking of gear, how is Torpedo not a deluxe? And I hate to say it like that because, oh, we're already paying $24.99, what do you expect? But look at it. It's packed. And then, woo, these pictures are amazing. Almost too amazing because I look at it and think, my figure's never going to look like that. But it's still going to look pretty kick-ass. Shipwreck seems to be a little too classic for some, and I can see that. The line started with updated aesthetics, the armor pieces, the technology. So, yeah, but I guarantee this is not going to be our last version of Shipwreck. And I'll probably buy the turtleneck version too, but anything beyond, it's Shipwreck. You can look at this and just hear the voice. And then finally for this wave, rock and roll. It's a mix of rock and roll looks with some extra rock and roll mixed in. Got the tattoos, got the devil horns, got the big ass gun. All in all, a hell of a wave. I mean, these are some heavy hitters. I didn't mention it, but these are all regular retail too, just like Scrap Iron with his drone. This fills that character and pet spot, only this time around the pet is a rocket-spewing death machine. I love that Lenny put more feeling into the character by explaining that Scrap Iron is a perfectionist, but his face is scarred to remind him of that time that he wasn't perfect. It's little things like that, especially to someone like me, who doesn't have a lot of history with the franchise, that personalizes the character, and I think, well, god dang, I need Scrap Iron, I guess. On top of it looking fantastic. And did I mention the rocket-firing drone with all the effects pieces? And there, the rocket trails, you can swap that over to Bazooka's bazooka to have him firing the rockets out of that too. Then for Pulse exclusives, there's the Cobra Valkyries pack. This is the 2 female troopers that were shown sometime last year with all the gear and the extras, and hey, female trooper. The one set of gear is not gold, it's beige, so I'm happy to see that because I think I griped about that last year. Why is it so gold? It's gonna stand out. But I'd still rather see all the gear match, where you're actually army building. I get it, the other one's a different type, and then you have the officer helmet and the gas mask. You can change things up, but you have to buy multiple packs in order to truly troop build. Truly troop build, you know, with a worldwide terrorist organization fighting a bunch of people with very specific specialties. You know what I mean, though. Another Pulse exclusive is Snow Job. Just look at this beautiful bastard. This is a deluxe, so there's more accessories, more options. And who doesn't like a little extra effort with their snow jobs? And I gotta think this is a little tease for some future Cobra Troopers, right? Or are they just there to sell the effect? Either way, very nice showing from the G.I.Joe team. Links are in the description. And that's all I got for this week, but get ready for next week because it is Walmart Collector Con. We all look forward to that, right? I mean, Walmart. I'm still seeing people talk about their cel-shaded Spider-Man. Either they haven't got it yet or it's been canceled, so dang it, Walmart. Also, if you're wondering about the shirt, I saw this on rippedapparel.com and it made me giggle. And really these days, if you make me giggle, I'm in. There's just something about mixing Ric Flair and Nick Cage. Woo!